Well. Good evening, and happy Memorial Day. I would like to take this time to shout out and salute everyone that gave their tomorrows for our todays. Thank you so much. I am one star director Tanya Evans, and I am excited because we're going to get into some things tonight, and it's going to require some heavy shifting. Okay, it's going to require some heavy shifting. So if you are streaming from YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, go ahead, click like and click share. Go ahead, grab you some good folks to chime in and listening to this good old Memorial Day message, because I'm telling you, if you are in the place, something good is getting ready to happen to you. Thanks for chiming in. Dat McCall is chiming in. Listen, I'm not going to be before you long. What I would like to do is introduce to you my brother from another mother. He is a pastor out of San Antonio, Texas. He has one of the fastest growing churches in the San Antonio area. Shout out to my J Howe family. He is a husband to the beautiful Lady Keys. They have two children, and congratulations, they just had their I don't know if this is their first set, but they just got a set of twin grandbabies. So congratulations. I want to introduce to you none other than three-star director, my pastor, Mel Keys. Mel Keys, Pastor Keys, you want to come forth and bless us with your presence? Paw Keys.
Not really. I wasn't finished yet.
Okay.
but, but it's all
Listen, the
good.
job of a pastor is never done.
I
Thank you
tell you
so,
what, I
so
was trying to
much.
respond to one more person, but it's
Thank
all
you so
good.
much for your service. I know you, as well as myself, you served in the Air Force. So thank you
Yes,
so much
we're
for
both
your
veterans.
service. And I know you worked on, you served, you're a soldier for the Lord, but you also, did you get a chance to chill out or hang out today?
I slipped by and saw those beautiful baby girls today. I held them, took some pictures with them, but them young folk, they on some other stuff. Dad, don't post no pictures. Don't post, I'm dealing with
They
that
want to
right
be the
now. I'm
first.
struggling. Huh?
They want to be the first one to post a
Man,
picture of
bump
their
that.
baby. Look,
Look
look.
at
I ain't
here.
getting into
I'm about
that.
to pull some rank. I'm gonna say Tanya said.
No, don't you put that on me, because I want to see my
Hey.
my little cousin, my little nieces. So don't put that on me.
Oh boy, yeah, I
But what
know.
you got going on, set of twins, that's gonna require some heavy shifting.
It's gonna be some heavy shifting. That's our subject tonight, baby girl. I can't be before you long because we got another call to get on. I'm gonna put you in the lobby and just do what you do. Get the crew in place, in position. I see some of them coming in, and I'm grateful and I'm thankful for each and every one of you. Thank you for being the family, the friends, the encouragers, the pushers that you are in my life. I see Kevin is in the house along with Chandrella is here. We got Minister Carolyn Walker Pittman is in the house. Joseph Richmond is chiming in. Carol Casper is chiming in. Much love to you all, family. We're grateful and we're thankful for you. Listen, as I mentioned, I see Niecy Walker. She says she cannot hear us. I'm not sure why. You should be able to. You should be able to. So refresh your screen, sweetheart, and you'll be good on your end because everybody else is hearing it. All right. Listen, as I said, I can't be before you too long, but I want to give you a full meal, something to think about, but more importantly, something to act upon. It's not just good enough to take notes. Note takers seem to do better in life, but there's no one that does better than those who take actions. If you have a choice between taking notes and take actions, I don't care how many notes you take, it is the action takers that will always be put in the most favorable position. So tonight, whether you're taking notes, take this action. Nisi, I see you there. You're saying you can't hear. It's on your side, baby. You got to fix that on your side. Everybody else can hear. All right. Listen, write this down. Some heavy shifting required. Some heavy shifting required. I remember there were a few jobs in my younger years. And when I was putting in for them, as a young man especially, they would have these particular requirements and standards. You know, I remember when I put in for the post office, and when I was getting out the military, I also was considering becoming a firefighter, and they had these particular standards. You know, that before you apply, make sure that you can do certain things. You had to be able to lift. Come on here, a certain amount of weight. I think they might have changed some stuff up in the military. It's been so long that in certain jobs, you know, it's just required that you do a certain type of muscular activity, that you got to be able to lift up some stuff. And they might put it in, you know, the bulletin. They might put it in their posting, some heavy lifting required. Well, we're not going to talk about that tonight. I don't know what you're lifting. But I do know this. You better be ready to do some shifting. Tonight, I want to share with you, there is some heavy shifting required. Go ahead and put that in the comments already. There is some heavy shifting required. Put it on YouTube. Put it in Facebook. I don't know if we might be in LinkedIn. Yeah, put it in LinkedIn. Granddaddy was here. He said, put it in your pipe and smoke that thing, because it's just the truth. It's just the facts. Some heavy shifting is required. We got to shift some stuff, y'all. If we're going to get to where we're supposed to get, I'm totally convinced. I'm totally persuaded that we are in a very pivotal place in history. And when we move forward, we need to move forward with intentionality. We need to move forward with strategy. We need to move forward with structure. And hear me, we need to take as many people with us as we can. And the only way we're going to do that is to realize first there's some heavy shifting that is required. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in. I'm on my runway and I'm coming in now. We're about to take this thing off. The first shift. Somebody say the first shift. What's the first shift? I'm going to give you 8 of them. And then I'm going to talk to you about some things, put you right in a space where you can prosper, where you can receive God's favor as a result of all the things that are going to be shared, because you're going to be those who take action, right? Some heavy shifting is required. What's the first shift? Here it is. Your mindset. Got to start there. Where the mind goes, the body follows. Where the mind goes, the body follows. That's your headquarters. That's where everything, come on now. I remember in military days, you know, we would have to, you know, run certain things by the squadron, certain things by the wing. Remember this, Sonya? And then certain things by command. Come on, by the command and control, by the headquarters. Certain things, I don't care what they said at the squadron level. Didn't matter what they said at the wing level. Didn't matter what they said at the group level. Come on, everybody got a group. Well, everybody got an opinion. Everybody in the group got something to say. But when it comes down from headquarters, hello, that's what it is. That's how we roll. That's what's going down. That's what time it is. Whatever your mind says, that's what's going down. And some of us, we don't know and we don't yet understand. The Bible says, in all you're getting, get an understanding. We don't properly understand. We have not properly investigated the inner workings of our mind to even understand that we could change our minds. Say it again, we could change our mind. One of the most important things you can do right now, Bernstein, we see you there, woman of God. Thank you for chiming in. One of the most powerful things we can do, one of the most needful things some of us can do right now is change our minds, because our mind was on some stuff that ain't right. You thought a thing and thought it was true. You thought it was standardized. You thought it was quality. You thought it was on point. Where's your fruit? Because if it's on point, at some point, you're gonna see some fruit. Our mind, like a thermostat, has to be set. And if we don't set it, someone else will. And some of us, we're walking in some mindsets that were set for us, and we didn't even know the programming that was taking place at the time that it took place. I mean, there are commercials. I ain't got time. And there are songs and there are jingles in my head even now. I didn't really take no time to really study it. I didn't write that thing down, but I know the lyrics. I know the song. Look, I could hum a little tune right now for you, and you'll know what it would be, I think anyway. Because there were some things that were put in my mind, not that it was intentional, but I was just in proximity. That's why we're going to talk about this proximity thing in a moment. But your mindset, come on, there's a time right now where we got to shift our mind. It is more important than ever to get your mind in a place that you're the one that's setting it. You're the one that's taking ownership. You are not just giving your mind, your greatest gift, your brain, to someone else to do your thinking for you. You got to be able to stand on the merit of your best thinking, leverage and connected to the thinking. Come on here, much of it that will be greater than yourself. But you got to be in the game with that of your own accord. Your mindset. That's number one shift. Second shift, come on here, because there's some heavy shifting going on. Second shift is leveling up on newer methodologies and technologies. I just said something right there. Newer methodologies and technologies. You've heard me speak of this before. Some of us still are doing 8-track stuff. Some of us are still doing cassette stuff. You know, we operating with this type of methodology, this type of technology. And we don't even understand how far back we've been left because we refuse to make the shift. We refuse to make the change. You know, we got stuck on some typewriter type stuff. And we got that typewriter and, you know, we got the, drawer full of ribbons and we hitting on and talking about we 72 words a minute with this thing and we smoking and we got it going on. But don't let that thing break because you ain't going to get a replacement. You can't even order any ribbons for it. Once you look, that last one in your drawer, that's it. It's a wrap. Because we got new methodology. I remember there was a thing, I think, what did they call that thing? Tom, you might remember. You might remember. It was not the typewriter. After the typewriter came the y'all remember the word processor? Yeah, that little word processor. Anybody got some word processors out there still going on? And there's some folk, I promise you, I could do some research. I promise you there's somebody with some of them, and they typing on that thing and they working on that thing and they can't do much with it because it's old methodology. It's old technology. Man, listen, if you come to the war with a knife or bow and arrow, somebody with the Gatling they're going to get you. Somebody with the machine gun, they going to get you. Because bow and arrow and a knife, that ain't methodology and technology is advanced. And if you got the most advanced, y'all remember, I ain't got time to get into it, but y'all remember all this thing about space war and all this type of stuff. I think this was in the Reagan era. Actually, I think it started with the Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis and all that going on. And you understand if you go back into the history of it all and the technology, Russia and how they was posed to, do some things and have an advantage. And we was like, no, we can't let them get one up on us because if they get the higher, they're going to be able and, world control dominant. And we said, no, we're going to put in the work. We're going to spend billions of dollars and we're going to get, you got to make sure you got top methodology. You got to make sure you got top technology. Could I ask you right now, have you made the shift? There's some folk right now, they don't even understand even Facebook, even YouTube, even, what do you call that thing now? Snapchat and all that type of stuff. Well, I don't like, it's not about just liking the thing. It's about using it to your advantage for your goals. Some of us, our greatest hindrance is we've not exposed ourselves, gotten someone to help us with methods and technologies that will advance us forward because we're stuck on, we're stuck on doing some stuff the way they used to do it 20 years ago. And maybe 20 years ago, it put you at the top. But right now, at best, you're at the bottom of the middle because you have not made the shift. You have not leveled up on newer methodologies and technologies, and you must make the move. Not just keep up, but not get left behind. And we want you to make this shift. There's some shifts going on. And listen, a lot of these things that we got, they're free today. You can go to the library. You can go online and find out how to do. You can do a YouTube, search some YouTube. Man, you can learn how to do brain surgery on YouTube today. You can find out some stuff. Get around some people. Get in some groups of people that know how to do this stuff. I'm not saying change your message. I'm not, because people say, well, that ain't me. I don't like the camera and it ain't about you. I thought you understood that. I thought you understood the assignment. It ain't about you. It's about what's going to come out of you, what's going to come through you and help some more people, but they'll never hear it. They'll never see it if you don't adopt the newer methodologies and the technologies. Number 3, come on. We got to make a shift. We're doing some heavy shifting, y'all. Career and vision goals. I wish I had time to talk about this. Y'all remember back in the day, I don't know if schools doing the same way they used to do it, but they used to have these career counselors time. Baby girl, and you would go sit down with that career counselor, and they would map you out a little plan how you can get from, eighth grade into high school. And in high school, you're going to take certain courses, and those particular courses were going to set you up for college, hopefully some good free tuition and all of that, and some other programs out, apprenticeship. So they was planning that whole thing out for you. Could I tell you some things have changed? They probably still got a whole lot of that going on right there. But here's what I'm finding out myself. There are some folk who have gone the distance with all of that and into midway into their career. They're 30 now. They're 40 now. They've been in their career 15, 20, 25 years, and they're finding out that they're still dissatisfied. They're still disheartened. They're still discouraged. Because all that time they were building something for someone else that they could never own on their own. They had no leverage. They still had to ask permission, y'all, to take a break. They still had to ask permission for downtime. And they got grandkids. They still had to ask permission, y'all, to do stuff that grown folks should be able to make up on their own mind, whether it's in their best interest to do it or not. So you want to make sure that you understand what I'm trying to say. There are some young people now, back to what I said earlier, because they embrace some technologies, because they embrace some methodologies, man. You got some folk, they ain't even 20, 25, they making $500,000 a year because they understood the assignment, they understood the methodology, they understood the technology, and now they have gone and taken that message global, y'all. They're doing some things on a level, and we like, how in the world? And listen, I'm not against education. I got just a little myself, not a whole lot, but just a little. But understand this. Sometimes we pay more for it than it pays us. And you got to come on, that's heavy shifting involved. You got to be able to see, to have the insight for your career vision and your goals. And you got to be able to give this counsel to the ones who are coming behind us. Because a lot of us, we're just doing what we were told to do from 30, 40 years ago, but it ain't working for everybody the same way. And there are some folk that, they didn't necessarily go the traditional career route with the college thing and all that. And they're doing better than some of the ones who did. Are y'all listening? I'm not knocking it. Get your education, get your degree and all. But I'm saying just don't do it just because then you're just going to be left with a bill. And you're going to not be left with a benefit. You're going to be left with a detriment, with a liability. You got to have some career, some vision and go. It's time is major. Major, heavy shifting required right now. Because the world we're going into, the future we're going into, all the paper, all the degrees in the world won't necessarily put you ahead of the game. You better have some skill sets that are more marketable. You better have some skill sets that you can do something that you can own and create the lifestyle and all that type of stuff that you really want to have. And this brings me to number 4, heavy shifting involved, y'all. I'm not going to have the time to do what I wanted to do. I see that right now. Heavy shifting involved. Your end game. Come on, somebody put that in the comments. Your end game. See, don't go into a thing not knowing how you want to exit. I'm going to say it again. Don't go into a thing knowing how you want to exit, how you want to come out on the other side. That's what vision is all about. What should it look like? Not just in the beginning, not just in the middle. Most people can do pretty good in the beginning of a thing. And then there are a great group of people that can do pretty good in the middle of things. But what's your end game? How do you come out of that thing on the other side? You got to have an end game. You got to work from the outside from the exterior at the end, and then work your way all the way back. What's your end game? Major, heavy shifting involved. Some of us have not thought deeply enough. We've not been around minds great enough and experienced enough to help our end game. It don't take a whole lot to start, but man, it takes something to finish. And that's why many of us, we have so many unfinished projects, so many unfinished relationships, so much unfinished business, because we've been inundated with starting a thing or, working in the middle of a thing, but we've never mastered our end game. And there is a major shifting, heavy shifting right now that's required. Another one. Keyzo is in the house. That's my cousin, y'all. Make room for my VIP. That's Gerald Keys. Man, I'm coming for you, man. Don't think I ain't got that 3-point right. It's on. Look, that's my end game for you. I'm coming for you. You used to give me. I'm coming. Time you tell him I'm coming for him. I'm coming for him with my 3-point. Coming for him. Listen, lifestyle limitations, y'all. And all of this is a part of the same math. It's all mathing together. Lifestyle limitations. Sometimes, you look at that checkbook, you look at that savings account, you look at what you got in your investments. If you made some smart decisions and have some, but it's limited. And some of our options right now are so limited. You might need and maybe you got a desire, or maybe you have a need to relocate, to move, maybe from one house to another, to upgrade, to move to another side of town, or maybe move to another state. Maybe your transportation ain't right. Maybe you just want to start eating a little more healthy, but doggone, you went down to that store where they got the healthy choices, and you said, "My God, I just eat this greasy piece of fried." You understand? Lifestyle limitations, guys. We need a major shift right now. Heavy shifting is involved because some of us, we don't understand the math again. The lifestyle limitations that we're living with are based upon our mindsets, preconceived ideas and notions. And when we break out of that mindset, we break out of that box. The only real limitation we have, guys, is ourselves. Listen, God is already authorized. God is already blessed. God is already, extended the territory. He's already given permission. You're licensed. You are authorized to bust out of the box that you've been in. And we need, some heavy shifting in our lifestyle limitations, because there's so many more people that, it's not even about what you can do for yourself and for your family, but how many other families could you be of value to? Could you be of help to if you burst out of the box of your own lifestyle limitations? Let me give you number 6, y'all. Heavy shifting is involved. Sources of input and circles of influence. I know I'm right about this. Listen, shout out to all the great parents out there, but not all people, not all parents are created equally, y'all. Let me tell you. Yeah, look, let's just call it what it is. Some of us like that water boy. Mama said, well, mama kind of told you some stuff and it wasn't right. Mama kind of messed you up with some lies and alibis and excuses and manipulation, and you treating it as if it's the truth. Whether it's your mama, your daddy, your preacher, your pastor, or whosoever it has been, this is the time when you better be very intentional. What are the sources of excuse me? What are the sources of input that have sold into your life? What are the sources of input that have been so close proximity to you that you almost believed it before they even said it, without questioning it? And now here you are decades later, after living out what they put in, you're starting to say, well, my God, was that right? Was that true? Because the math ain't mathing. What are the sources of income? Listen, heavy shifting is involved. Some of us, one of the biggest things that we need to do right now is just check those sources. Remember how we were in math class and they had those equations on the board? They put it up on, then they call you up to the board and you up there putting all this stuff together. Well, at least that was me. I didn't know what I was doing. I just hoping I got that. Come on here. Hoping I got that right. And then they said, no, you got to go back to the other side, and what you did over here, you got to do over there and all that. Y'all remember that? Listen, we got to go back and check our sources, and some of us got some stuff and we didn't check the math. It ain't math, and it didn't add up because we didn't check the sources. What do you get? What is the end result when you follow your source, but your source ain't right? Jesus said, if the blind lead the blind, they all fall in the same ditch. Check your sources. This is the time. You better hear what I'm saying. This is the best time of your life where you better do some heavy shifting that may be required, even on your sources of input. But not only on your sources of input, family, even on your circles of influence. Good God Almighty, Jesus. Your circles of influence. Who's around you? Who's close proximity? Who you talking to first thing in the morning? Who you talking to late in the midnight hour? Come on here. Who you talking to all through check that text, and who you keep going back and forth with about sometimes about nothing. Come on here. I ain't got no time. I tell you, I ain't one couple of things I ain't gonna do. I ain't going back and forth with a whole lot. Come on here. I ain't doing it. I ain't got time. I'm too old for that type of stuff now. It is what it is. I'm going that way, and once I go that way, ain't gonna be no turning around, you understand? So the circles of influence, you got to make up your mind. Because listen, how can the two walk together? Except they be agreed. And if you got some folk, listen, you got a vision and you believe it to be the Lord and it's going north, and they keep, we going southeast. Man, every time you stop to argue, every time you stop but just pull and toss, man, do you know you could have been all the way up north by now? Circles of influence. You got to make sure they're congruent. You got to make sure they're consistent. You got to make sure that their conviction lines up, come on here, with your convictions. Your sources of input and your circles of influence. Listen, sometimes, beloved, heavy shifting is required. And let me tell you what I know. Been there too many times not to tell you this. It's one of the most difficult decisions, one of the most hurtful decisions, one of the most transitional spaces you can be in. It is what it is. But you got to man up, woman up, and do what you got to do. Because heavy shifting is required to get to your next. Let me go to these last two, and we're going to leave you alone. How you travel. Now, if I could talk about this, Coach D is in the house. We'll be ready for you. If I could talk about this, I would usually use some kind of PowerPoint, but I ain't got time for that tonight. Y'all just got to hear what I got to say on this. You know what? I'm gonna bring baby girl. Come on in here. See, let every word be established in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. I got a credible witness right here. That's my baby girl right there. Y'all love it a lot. Understand that the way you travel, some heavy shifting is required.
Mm-hmm.
I would say heavy shifting is required, Tanya, because the way folk used to travel, the only ones who were really winning with the old methods of travel were the ones who were the owners of that industry. They controlled that space, particularly 2 major companies. There were 2 of the, and they still all remain to be, 2 of the largest and fastest growing companies on the internet today still remain to be Priceline and Wikipedia. Those 2 groups, family groups. Now watch this now. They don't own anything travel related. None of the timeshares, thank God. But timeshare ain't the way to go. None of the hotels.
Divorce them.
Come on. There you go. None of the resorts. None of the airline. None
They don't
of the
own
cruise.
anything.
They don't own even a fleet of rental cars. But they doing their thing. They've inserted themselves as the middle person. So when you would use Priceline, Expedia, and all their 85% of everything you find out there on an OTA, online travel agency, it belongs to them. They're winning whether you go left or whether you go right. They're winning. But here's the math. You losing by using them. And then you say, well, I don't never use them. I got my favorite travel agent. Could I tell you, I've been a travel agent for 12 years. I know what I'm talking about. I was talking to my auntie today. She's talking about it's been 6 or 7 since, because she's one that got me started. I said, it ain't been no 6 or 7 years. That was 12 years ago. Been a travel agent for 12 years. One of my aunts has been, and my aunt been a travel agent for 15, but I got another aunt that's been a travel agent over 30 years. Yeah. This is the type of thing. So we understand how the industry works as it relates to that. But all travel agents operate not on volunteer work, but on retail commissions. Now, let me help you with something. Let me help y'all understand. Retail commissions. That means our services are rendered up front, free of charge, because we don't get paid out of your initial spending. We get paid on the back end because you have paid wherever the vendor is. You've paid them a particular amount. You didn't pay us. You paid them, and then they give us our due contractual commission, and that's how we get paid. That's business. That's capitalism 101. It is what it is, and that's all right. That's a reputable integral profession. But let me just tell you, we're going to show you that heavy shifting is required. If you want to keep more of your money in your own household, in your own family, that you can do, come on, whatever you want to do with it, I'm going to have baby girl to tell you how to do that thing. Talk to us about how travel itself, how people travel. We talk about all this other stuff, but we're talking about heavy shifting being required. How is travel one of those areas, and why is it one of those areas where we need to make some major shifts? Talk to us real clear.
Because on the front end, like you said, we're spending way too much. We're spending money that could go towards something else more important. But travel isn't, for me, travel isn't a luxury no more. It's beneficial to my mental health. So I need. It's a lot of people out here that everybody needs a reset.
Mm-hmm.
But why would you want to reset from spending thousands of dollars on one vacation when you can sow that same very money into yourself and have multiple vacations?
My
All
Lord,
about
my Lord.
making it make sense. It's all about making it make sense. Before Travorium, I was traveling every time I went to bed at night, and after I say my prayers, and I'll be counting sheep, and then I was traveling to all these beautiful destinations in my dreams
In your dreams.
because I
Or when you
couldn't
woke up.
afford it.
Yeah.
But when I woke up, when I got woke,
Mm-hmm.
this is new thing when people woke, when I really got woke and found that I could actually still do that very same traveling, but
Mm-hmm.
at more than a fraction of the price. Because I can't say a fraction of the price. Who goes to Dubai for 6 days for $49 for two people, breakfast
My
included?
Lord. My Lord.
If not Dubai, who goes to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico for 5 days, all inclusive, meaning all you can eat, all you can drink for $29? You could
Baby
take a
girl.
getaway, an 8 day getaway anywhere in the world, and just pay the taxes. I've done it I've done it 57 times with 58 and 59 and 60 already on the books,
Mm.
waiting for me to take.
How much has this been
It's
a
just
game changer
amazing.
for your life?
Oh boy. I wasn't traveling before. I'm traveling more now than I did serving my country as a little kid, traveling with my grandparents. I've traveled more now than in the last 4 years. It's been 57 vacations.
Mm. Getaways and
It's
vacations.
amazing.
I love it. We got,
And it's
oh, my
places that
beautiful
I only
sister.
dreamed about.
Amen.
Hey,
We
Angel
got
Michelle
Dad
Campbell.
Armstrong is in the house. Give my main man Mike some love for me. We got Elder Michelle Campbell. We're going to ask you to talk about that. She just recently celebrated her 70th birthday, and the testimonial
Yes.
that she shared is that you gifted her with the opportunity to go with you to Dubai. How how essential is something like that for persons who really want to, persons who really want to do something special, special moments, things that can be treasured for the rest of your life? Can you talk to us about what it was like having, you call it your auntie, your god auntie, Elder Michelle,
Yes.
celebrating her
Yes.
70th birthday with you in Dubai because you had the opportunity to pay $49, 6 days, 5 nights, breakfast for two? What was that like?
Well, when we hung out together in Puerto Vallarta for the
Vallarta.
$29,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Puerto Vallarta. That's how you pronounce it,
Mm-hmm.
Puerto Vallarta. When we hung
Mm-hmm.
out there those 5 days, it was like, how can I explain it? It was like when I was a little kid and my dad would have to drop me off at home, and how I didn't want to go home, I would cry.
Mm-hmm.
We did not want to
Mm-hmm.
part ways. And that's one thing about this company that I love so much, because I travel a lot by myself. So when
Mm-hmm.
I get to these different destinations, I am not by myself. It's a
Mm-hmm.
whole it's a whole gang of us. So
Mm-hmm.
we had planned the Dubai trip in 2023 when we were
Right.
in Puerto Vallarta. And she had said she wanted to, go to Dubai for her birthday. And I said, well, I'm going to get it. if as soon as it come up, I'm gonna get it, and that's what we made a plan to do. And I'm talking about, I think we got on Sasha Roberts' nerves because we was trying, together. We were always group chatting what we gonna do, how we gonna do this,
Yeah,
how we gonna get there, and from the
yeah,
airport and stuff like that. So
yeah.
it was really fun, and my anxiety kicks up when I'm traveling alone. Period,
Mm,
because of my
mhm,
the old mindset. I'm thinking
mhm,
and not to mention everybody was sending us pictures. Don't
mhm.
go over there. Is this, that, and the third over there? Ain't no people that ain't left the porch, ain't left their phone
They ain't
zip
left the porch.
code, ain't left and went nowhere. We talk about people that's just been going to work, going home, and going to sleep and doing it all over again. Ain't went nowhere, but they was finding these pictures, telling me make sure you take your floaties and stuff like that. I pack floaties. So I did pack my floaties because the hotel we were at had a pool area, and it was so beautiful. So I had my
Yeah.
floaties, but I didn't float away. And a lot of that
Mm.
comes from the fear of the not
Fear.
knowing.
Fear.
And fear is the false evidence appearing real.
That's what it
It's
is.
a real thing that when you take 57 vacations, I've literally, from the time I met you, on
Mm-hmm.
that phone call that one day where it
My lord.
just changed. It was some heavy shifting required because I started without a lot, and I sacrificed.
Mm-hmm.
I sacrificed. It was a sacrifice, and those first 15 trips was all sacrifices. They was all
Yeah.
sacrifices. But when
Yes.
God, He makes provisions if it's meant for you to have. And I have to honestly say I've not paid a monthly fee in 3 years. I've
Mm-hmm.
been earning free travel points for 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
using those
Mm-hmm.
travel points to take beautiful vacations. I look forward to all the other vacations because it's the whole world out there. I didn't, 60 we in over 70 countries now, and I have
Mm-hmm.
not even scratched the surface. So I'm excited. I look forward to doing more, growing, and the fact that we get paid to do this, like that's just
Yes, that's bonus. Well, let's
mine.
end on that.
That's just like,
Let's end on that. Let's end on that. We got Dr. Betty is in the house along with baby girl Celeste Valdez. Much love to you both. We're going to close it out, Tanya, with this because we're talking about heavy shifting involved. Thank you so much for sharing your candid feedback and your testimonials. They are paid advertisements because you certainly been getting paid, as you said. So we're going to end it here.
yes,
Ladies and gentlemen, let me just backtrack this thing so you can see where we've been. I would challenge you to listen from the very beginning if you haven't begun with us from the top. We talked tonight about some heavy shifting being involved and how it was required to do some heavy shifting in several key areas. First area was mindset. Area number two was in leveling up on our newer methodologies and technologies, not getting stuck in the past on some stuff that worked 40 years ago, but really doesn't operate that well today. Number three, career and vision goals. We got to make the shift and help other young folk coming behind us. We don't want to send them on a dead end, y'all, just because we did it. That was the method that we took, the route we took. Well, where did it lead us? Number four, your end game. Heavy shifting is involved on creating and establishing your end game before you really even begin. Heavy shifting is involved on lifestyle limitations because the only limitation we have is really the person we see in that mirror staring back at us. And number six, heavy shifting is involved in sources of input and circles of influence. And then Coach Tanya gave us some powerful testimonials, 50 plus vacations over the past 3.5 years. Two of the most recent this year, of the many that she's taken this year already, being Dubai and Puerto Vallarta. Puerto Vallarta, $29 for two, all inclusive food and drinks, 5 days, 4 nights. If I gave you a budget of $29 and you were going to eat 3 times a day and have a place to stay, roof over your head,
you was
I want
practicing.
you to give me the image. Get the image in your head. You don't have to tell me. What would that place look like? And how how would you have to be forced to eat that food, right? Because look at here,
That'll
I
be a
could only
cracker. You
imagine
gonna
what
get
it
a
would be.
cracker and a little sheet over your head like this. But
Lord help. Yeah. So we're showing you that there are worldwide vacations. I didn't go over the slides tonight. Dubai is one of thousands of places that we have in our inventory. Better than travel agent rates. Here's the reality. Here's the math. If you're not using this travel club when you travel, you're wasting money. Now it's your money. I got sense enough to know my mama gave me a little home training. Not much, but a little. Your money. If you want to throw it in a shredder, I can't stop you. You want to burn it up in an incinerator, I can't stop you. If you want to throw it out the window, I can't stop you. But I will try to help you if I can. I'm going to say it one more time just in case you did not hear the words coming out of my mouth. If you're traveling without using this program, you're wasting good money. But that choice is yours. I want you to get with the person that shared this with you because they are not trying to get something from you. They're trying to get something to you. You just don't know what you don't know. The math is not mathing in your favor without this travel club. But here's the last part that we're going to share as we make our exit tonight, and that is how you can earn income. These are referrals. It's a referral-based opportunity with this travel club in more than 70 nations strong. Started some 11 years ago by a world-class entrepreneur that had been highly decorated and highly applauded by persons all over the state of California for his business acumen and skill set. Recognized in magazines like Fortune 500 recognition of startup companies. He had in his day. Now this was some time ago. A mobile, one of the first, in fact, I think he pioneered it, the mobile car wash industry. You look him up, state of California, David Hart. He put it out there, y'all. He had built that thing into the millions of dollars and was doing very well. And then he moved over and shifted. He had some heavy shifting that he saw was required because no matter how hard he worked, no matter how he rose to the top, he kept finding people in his company that was working for him. Next thing you know, he teach them, train them, and now they're his competitors. And some of them stealing stuff, and some of them, doing stuff on the side and all that. Traditional business, it has its pros and it has its cons. So he took the best of both worlds and he moved into an industry called direct sales and marketing. Made millions of dollars in that industry, but he also saw there were pros and cons. One of the cons he saw that a lot of times it was the people with the best skill sets and followings. They made money no matter what they did. They moved from here to there to there to everywhere, and they kept rising to the top. But the people at the bottom, relatively speaking, they stayed at the bottom. He said that God gave him a vision. He wanted to do something different where every person can win from day one, no matter who they were, without respect for skill set. And he put this opportunity together. It's called Travorium. It's a worldwide travel club operating in more than 70 nations, 4 headquarters, has paid out tens of millions of dollars in commissions to everyday ordinary people, just like you and yours truly on the screen. We say the only thing that is lacking is a check with your name on it or a deposit made into your bank account of choice. We're ready to put you in place, in position. We'll answer all of your questions, full disclosure, full transparency, no dumb questions. Get with the person that shared this information to you. We're sharing with you that there is no limit on the income you can earn from this worldwide opportunity in the largest industry on the planet called travel. It's been here forever. It has literally now become a $10 trillion industry projected to grow over the next decade to more than $15.5 trillion to be exact. That's more than a 50% increase, y'all. And we're trying to help as many people as we can to put them in a wealthy place, a wealthy position where they're going to have a lot of fun. The worst thing that can happen to you is you'll get a whole bunch of vacations at substantially discounted prices. So, Ty, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have you to close this out because this is a level of just candidness of how people can earn income, and just close us out with what they're going to do. And please tell us about that Faith Leaders call that we're going to get ready for right now. I'm going to get off the screen and let you close this thing out.
All right. Well, you heard it loud and clear from the man of God. Listen, he kept it real plain for us. He said, listen, we got to change our minds. We got to level up using newer methodologies. We have to have career vision and goals. He want to know your end game. He want to know your lifestyle limitations. What are you limited to? He want to know the sources of input and the circles of influence. Who is in your circle? Okay. How do you travel and how you earn income? Well, all you have to do is get back to the person that invited you to this broadcast. They're going to send you their link. They're going to receive an income. You're going to share it with others. And when others start sharing it, you're going to receive some income. Everybody is making money. Nobody's losing money. Your travel points turn. Listen, I tell you what. How about you meet me on this Zoom call? The Zoom ID is 851-8208-4922. But you got to inbox me personally or the person that shared this with you to get that password. We're getting ready for our faith leaders call. Once again, that Zoom ID is 851-8208-4922. Inbox the person that shared this with you and get that password and come and get your questions answered. We're not trying to get anything from you, but we're definitely trying to get something to you. So we'll see you next time at the beach, the bank, or both. See you next time. Good night.